Hey, what's up guys, it's Maggie. I'm just hopping on here to talk a little bit about community at Biola.
How was the transition from high school friendships to college friendships, and what was different?
I went to the same small Christian school my whole life, so I pretty much knew most of the people at my high school growing up. So going to college for the first time and having to make new friends was definitely a learning experience for me and a time for me to get out of my comfort zone. But Biola is such a great place to make new friends, and everyone is so friendly, so I had a really great experience with that.
I was able to find fun very quickly, and it was super amazing because I actually find fun through the new student orientation. So that was the kickoff of my community.
So I really like having, I guess, more variety, you could say, especially with going to different classes and having different people in each class. That I think people at college are way more open to being friends with people, especially outside of your year, just because everyone's kind of in the same boat, especially when they come in new as a freshman or even as a transfer.
While in college, you have to be a little bit more intentional with planning out times to see your friends. This is because in college, everyone has a different class schedules and are in classes at different times, and maybe even have a different work schedule on top of that. So you have to be a little bit more intentional when planning out hangouts and when you want to meet up with your friends.
Definitely a transition between high school and college friends because your high school friends are already established and probably took years to form, whereas in college you're just starting a new friendship. So it can take a little bit for things to start to feel like home, but as soon as you start finding your right people to be around, it doesn't take that long for those people to really start to feel like home to you.
Where have you found community at Biola?
I say that I found the most community on my floor because we were a floor of mostly all first-time freshman students, so we were all in the same boat, and it was a really easy way for me to make new friends.
For my job, I know that's not an option for everyone, but I would also say through my major, because PR is a pretty small major, you kind of just learn to get to know everyone and definitely have classes with the same people.
Definitely the nursing cohort. The nursing cohort is super amazing. We are super tight knit, and that's where I find a lot of my community.
My initial community at the Collegium on campus, being a commuter myself, I was able to run into some people on a regular basis and got to know them throughout our small interactions throughout the day, and had some great friendships grow out of those interactions.
First, I found community with my roommate who I didn't know before, and the people that lived right next door to us, and the people on our hall. So that was the first group of people that I started to become friends with. But then I started to become more friends with the people in my classes and just people that I met around campus.
Being able to make friends in your major and classes.
I definitely have made friends with people in my classes. That's where some of my best friends have come from. I do have friends in my major, although most of my close friends actually are not in my major.
I have made a lot of friends in my major, and also I made a lot of friends outside of my major also.
And I think that's really cool because you have such a diverse group of interests within your friend group, and it's just interesting to learn what they're learning in their classes and being able to share what you're learning in your classes.
Definitely had a lot of the same classes with people, especially like my first semester as a freshman. So once you have like multiple classes in one semester, you definitely get to know people, and professors usually give us time and opportunity to get to know people in our classes as well.
I still keep in touch with some of the people that I randomly sat by on the first or second day of class.
Do professors at Biola want to get to know you?
Oh, 100%. Professor here is very invested to know who you are as a person. Here, I love Biola since our professor doesn't see you as a number, but rather than a face and a person and a story.
I've had a few professors invite me over to their house to have dinner with their family just to get to know me a little bit more and to get to know my story. I even had a professor who scheduled to get coffee once a month with each of their students.
I've had professors pray over me before and just ask how they can be there to help me, and it's definitely meant a lot to me.
Specific example of when one of my Biola professors showed that they really wanted to get to know their students was when I was in a class of about 60 students, and on the first day of class my professor learned all 60 of our names, and it was just really impressive, and it really just showed how much she cared about us as students and really wanted to get to know us.
Yeah, you definitely can assume that your professors are going to want to get to know you, especially during your time here at Biola. Okay, bye!